which means they are likely very weak to grass in the back. And before we could even finish that sentence, goodbye, Swampert. What is going on, everyone? Ox here with another video. If you're new to the channel, we do upload Pokemon Go content mostly related to PvP, and if you're a returning subscriber like Joe Carbone, thank you for the support. In today's video, we are taking a look at some battles in the Open Great League, a bit of a rewind right here with a very spicy team that is definitely not recommended. It is triple grass, triple poison, triple shadow, triple razor leaf, and definitely triple toxic. When running a team like this, which is highly dependent on fast move pressure coming from Razor Leaf, the IVs aren't going to be too important. There is also alternative Razor Leaf users that you could substitute into this team, but I think the 3 Pokemon don't really matter because they all pretty much have the same weaknesses. I simply just went with the 3 I already had built. The order of these Pokemon likely does not matter as well. However, with Shadow Victreebel being the most infamous Razor Leaf user, that is the one I decided to put in the lead spot just so opponents knew what they were getting themselves into. Now, running a team like this in a Noctowl meta is pretty much the equivalent of self-torture, so it's probably best to avoid using this team just like Eric Ten Hag avoids using Harry Maguire on defense. If you enjoy this type of content, please consider leaving a like and a comment down below, and without any further ado, let's jump into the first battle right now. Triple Razor Leaf into a Noctowl meta. Obviously, this team is going to get swept by Talonflame, Charizard, Noctowl, Altaria, Golbat, Tropius. The options are endless, but we'll see what happens. Jumping into the first battle, we are going to be leading the almighty Shadow Victreebel into a Nidoqueen. This is not a particularly good lead to see with this team. Shadow Victreebel could win this in the 2 shields, but I think the best play is to try and play out the 1s. When running a team like this, you would ideally like to at least preserve 1 shield for the end game. And at this point, since our team pretty much relies on fast move pressure, I much rather they let this go through. Similar to running a double charm team, when utilizing a fast move pressure team like this, the win condition often comes down to the opponent preserving their shields for the end game, at which point it becomes too late, and oftentimes they end up losing with 2 shields remaining. Now, with Vileplume coming in here, our main objective is to put this Umbreon as low as possible, hopefully in a range where Venusaur is able to come in and Razor Leaf down before another foul play is reached by Umbreon. So the main purpose of Vileplume here was to operate as a sponge, soaking all of this foul play damage. Venusaur will now come in, the opponent swaps out into Meganium, and although these Razor Leafs are being resisted, you could see they are still chunking away at Meganium, and there is only one potential win con here, and it's out of our hands. It is entirely based on the opponent making a mistake and going for the Frenzy Plant bait instead of just going straight Earthquake. And fortunately for us, that is what they do. We will now be able to shield this third and final Frenzy Plant coming from Meganium and actually Razor Leaf down before they reach another move. Umbreon left in the back, Razor, bang, there it is. As you could clearly see, winning that matchup does not come down to skill, it comes down to the opponent making multiple mistakes and getting very lucky. Jumping into the next matchup, we have a flying type in the lead. However, it is part ground type, which means that these Razor Leafs are going to be dealing neutral damage. And it is quite amazing that a neutral Razor Leaf is doing as much damage as a super effective wing attack, forcing the opponent to swap out into a Shadow Venusaur. At this point in the battle, we are like Ben Simmons under the basket with the rock. We have no idea what to do.
Tapping his way in, spins on Gallinari, gives it up, oh, he was right there!
The only difference is Ben Simmons actually has good options to pass to. We do not. Thankfully, Victreebel did a lot of damage right there and able to put Venusaur in a range where we could Razor Leaf down before they reach another move. This means that we're able to preserve both of our shields. Going to shield once and hope to Razor Leaf down before Gliscor could reach another move, and we are able to do it. Unfortunately for us, it is a Registeel in the back and they still have both of their shields. Now at this point, we have only Moonblast and Sludge Bomb, both of which are resisted by Registeel. You might be thinking, why would the opponent even consider shielding one of these moves? I think they may have realized that we are running some triple meme Razor Leaf team, at which point their shields are kind of useless, and preventing any sort of charge move damage could go a long way in helping them to win this match. Now we could survive one move here from the Registeel, however, if they get the attack drop with Zap Cannon, that could affect our chances of winning. Thankfully they go for Focus Blast, and in rank 14, it's possible they are single moved, and as a result, may not have access to Zap Cannon, which allows us to Razor Leaf down, and once again, we are very lucky to win this match. So we are 2-0 heading into this next battle, a similar position that Liverpool found themselves in, and this Altaria is looking a lot like Real Madrid. So what exactly do we do here, going up against a Pokemon which sweeps our entire team? Well, of course we have to shield this up and go for the Acid Spray so that these Razor Leafs are doing a bit more damage. Having Sludge Bomb here, of course, would be very nice since they are very unlikely to shield, but we go for the Acid Spray, they let that go through. Now swap out into Vileplume, and once again they will reach another Sky Attack. Here comes the second shield. This will now leave us in an almost impossible position to come back from, unless they have something like double Shadow Mud Boys in the back. Altaria will now finish off the Vileplume, but we got rid of it. We got rid of the flying type. There may be some hope now. It's going to require a miracle, however. Venusaur comes in, Razor Leafs down. I did wait out my switch timer in the hopes that I could potentially use that Shadow Victreebel as a third shield, and they come in with a Azumarill. Need to catch this Ice Beam onto the Victreebel, but the switch timer does not come up in time. If we could catch that Ice Beam onto Victreebel and they had something like Shadow Swampert in the back, that game was actually winnable. Instead, that loss prevents the 5-0, and the last time we saw a team start 2-0 and then get outscored 0-5 was Liverpool in the Champions League against Real Madrid. But this is not Anfield, and we are not looking to replicate those results. Shadow Victreebel into Electivire. This is a beautiful matchup, going to shield up this first move. Ice Punch, super effective damage, able to Razor Leaf down. The opponent now comes in with a Venusaur, not exactly what we want to see, and this one also is not a Shadow. Going for the Acid Spray right here, this is going to lower the defense. We now swap out into Vileplume, should be able to survive a move here coming from the Venusaur, even if it is a Sludge Bomb just barely, and although this Venusaur is going to Vine Whip us all the way down, thankfully we still have two Pokemon with a lot of HP, which means that we are able to preserve that final shield. Sacrifice the Victreebel here, and remember, they stayed in with Electivire against Victreebel in the lead, which means they are likely very weak to Grass in the back. And before we could even finish that sentence, goodbye Swampert. Even a slow motion replay is incapable of making this feel longer than 2 seconds. You absolutely love to see it. Just call me the Grasshole. 3-1, a positive set clinched, and we are looking for more with win number 4. Shadow Victreebel into Azumarill. You love to see it. Unfortunately, because of how bulky it is, Azumarill will actually win this in the Zero Shields with Ice Beam. So the opponent is actually choosing to stay in here for a bit, then swaps out into Ariados, and at this point, we have no answer. So we are just praying to survive this lunge, going for the Acid Spray here to lower the defense, and we actually get a shield from the opponent. Best case scenario, Vileplume will now come in. We definitely could survive a lunge from the opponent, so going to no shield this first move. And at this point, I think if we feel we could reach the Sludge Bomb, it makes sense to actually shield right here. Hope to get the final shield from the opponent or take out this Ariados. Sludge Bomb is going to come through and the opponent is going to burn their final shield. So now we know they have a move ready to go. I'm hoping that by coming in with the Victreebel, we could apply enough fast move pressure for them to throw their charge move, which hopefully will allow us to keep our final shield. Remember, they swapped out of that lead matchup with Azumarill, likely having an Ice Beam ready to go, so we need to preserve that final shield. The opponent comes in with Unova Stunfisk. This is a solid matchup for Venusaur, and with a shield remaining, we should be in a good spot, but this game is about to get a lot more technical. We are committing to Razor Leaf all the way down, and after this Mud Bomb, we will have a Frenzy Plant ready to go. Now right here, Venusaur wins the CMP tie against the Azumarill. I am expecting the swap, so I stop tapping the screen, looking at the top right hand corner at the typing, see Azumarill coming in, and I click on that Frenzy Plant. It looks like they may have been one short of the Ice Beam anyways, but even if they had it, we would have won CMP tie, and that, my friends, is a 4-1 set in the Open Great League with a triple Razor Leaf team. Now, would I recommend anyone to run this team? Let's put things into perspective here. These are rank 14 battles. This team gets swept by almost any flying type, and unless you're just looking to have some fun and spice it up, do not run this team. If you enjoyed this content, please consider leaving a like and a comment down below, and I will see you in the next video.